Hello and welcome back to another episode of Geek with Glasses. On today's episode I want to talk about a really cool new application that I stumbled across the other day, and it's called Presence. I actually have it up here running on my iPhone 5, which is my daily carry device. And it's going to solve a very common problem that I think a lot of us may have who live in the Apple ecosystem. As you can see in my video here, I've got my old iPhone 3G. As you can see, it's quite dusty. It basically just sits around on a shelf. Occasionally I launch it and I play around to see compatibility with newer apps and newer devices, but essentially it's just clunky and it doesn't really serve a purpose. So let's put that over there. And I've also got my old iPhone 4 before I upgraded to the 4S. My 4 is sitting here and it's got a messed up screen. Phone works completely fine, but the screen is messed up on it and I can't actually see what's being displayed on it. So I kind of hunt and peck and guess and I can make the phone work, but I can use a reflector application and see the display with no problem and kind of navigate and use the phone. So the phone works, it just doesn't have a good display. The cameras work, and that's the most important thing for the application that we're going to talk about here. So let me set this aside and let's focus in on my main camera here. So again, this is my iPhone 5 and I've got the Presence application running, and this is the monitor mode of the application. So if you go out and you download Presence and you have some old devices, these old iPhones, these old iPads, old iPods that are sitting around your house, you haven't gotten rid of them, and iPods with a camera, by the way. You haven't gotten rid of them, but they're just sitting on a shelf and they're not being used for anything. Well, the Presence application gives life to those old devices, and these guys at Power People who put out the application are doing a great job at exactly that, giving life into these old devices. So if you have one of these old devices sitting around the house, you can install the Presence application on it in the camera mode, or the viewer mode, not the viewer, but the display mode, and plug it into a power source and set it up somewhere in your house. Let's say you're a small business owner and you can't afford a big expensive security system, or you're like me, you're a parent and you've got children that you want to keep tabs on, you monitor, or more importantly, let's say you just want to keep an eye out in your neighborhood. Let's say you want to see who's coming to your front door. You want a video monitor system, but you don't have the expenses to go out and buy one, but you've got these old devices. Install the Presence app on a couple of these devices and you have exactly that. For the free version of the application, you can actually install up to 10, I believe 10, and I'll define that in the show notes, 10 different cameras. So right here I have Julian's phone. This is my son's little phone with all his kid apps on it, and I've got it sitting in the window right behind me here, pointing out to the intersection of my neighborhood. And it becomes a camera. So once I have these cameras denoted, I use my viewing phone, which is my iPhone 5 here, and I have ability to see full live streaming of what that camera sees. So as you can see, if I had this sitting in a window or sitting up in a baby's room, or monitoring my business entrance and had power running to it, as long as the phone is on a Wi-Fi, then you can be streaming data anywhere. You do not have to be, your viewing application, which is this phone right here, the viewing phone, does not have to be on the wireless network that the device is connected to, the camera device is connected to. So I could be out running errands up at Target, want to check in and see how things are going in my intersection. Hopefully we'll get a car to drive through here so you can see that this is actually live streaming. But I can open up this application using my regular internet connection that I have via AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, whoever your carrier is, and stream the video that's coming directly from this application. And that's only one thing that's really cool about this app. This app does a lot of other really cool stuff as well, besides just giving you full monitor access, right? So again, I'm looking at a stream out on my front porch, and unfortunately, well, there you go. There's a car that's going across there, so you can see that it is live streaming. I've got a couple of options here. For one, let's say I was leaving home and I had my kid at a babysitter, with a babysitter in my house, and I'm watching and I'm checking in to make sure everything is going okay, and I see something that's kind of concerning, and I want to communicate with my babysitter. I can actually click the device, the little camera logo on the bottom here, give the device access to my camera, and all of a sudden I actually have, I have a crash. Okay, and the reason I have a crash probably is because I'm running iOS 7 on this phone. I have not had any of these crashes running on my wife's phone with the viewing on the existing stable iOS 6. But anyways, I know, bad demo. Let's get back into it though. If I open up the Julian's iPhone, which is my camera video, start the streaming again, I can click that little icon, and I don't want to do it again because it takes too long for the app to come back up. If I click on the little viewing icon, it'll actually open up picture-in-picture. It enables the camera on this device, and it gives a picture-in-picture view to the other device so that you can actually have a two-way communication. There is audio enabled automatically, so you're not only streaming video, but you're streaming audio as well to the application, so you can hear what's going on from that targeted camera. And there's some other cool things as well, depending on what you're doing. And now I'm having a problem connecting to Julian's iPhone. Let me go back. Let me connect to the iPad that I have up in my daughter's room, pointing at her to-be crib. And here we go. There we go. It's loading up. So there, I've got another. I've got an iPad. It's up in the nursery room, pointing to what will be her crib. And I can click the camera button, which will enable, like I said, a picture-in-picture. And it's just like FaceTime or Skype. You can have two-way communications. The audio is enabled on here, and if I were to click on the options button up here, you can see exactly what I have. If I want to turn the camera around upstairs and view the other camera on the device, I could click this reverse button, and it's going to do exactly that. It's going to swap the camera. And so now you can see the secondary camera, which is pointing directly at the closet. And I can go ahead and swap it back, look at the frontward camera so that I can see what's happening. And so this would be really good. So, hey, babysitter, come to the phone. I want to talk to you. Switch cameras, and now you can see their face. You'll notice that there's a motion detection option on here. We'll talk about that in a second. And then I have audio and video streaming. So if I didn't want to hear audio, I could turn the audio off, or vice versa. If I didn't want to see video, I just wanted to have audio, I can turn that on and off as well. So these are some of the controls that you have over that other device that is doing the monitoring for you, okay? Now, one of the other cool options are, if I go back to my main screen here, you'll see that I have my location up here, and it's listed as home. I'm here, I'm at home, I'm, just looking at the different cameras within my environment. But let's say I'm going to go away, and I don't want to do live streaming, but let's say I'm going on vacation, or I'm leaving the house for a little while, and I want to know what's going on. I don't want live streaming necessarily to be enabled. There's these sets of rules that I can apply down here, and you pick the devices that it's going to affect, again, up to 10 camera devices. I'm away, so let's say I wanted to create a new rule. I come in here, I give it a rule. I can say if I'm away or home, and if I'm away at a specific time, then I want you to enable motion detection. Now this is where things get really kind of cool. This is perfect for you guys with small businesses who want to do a security camera. So if I say I'm away, click the I'm away button, if I can get it to click here. There we go. I'm away. Then what ends up happening, let me go back up to Neil's iPad. Actually, I think motion detection is off, so I'll have to enable it. What ends up happening is it puts the camera in motion detection. So it's actually in motion detect mode right now. So if I hit done, what's happening is the camera's constantly looking and viewing, but it's not actually streaming any data. But what ends up happening is if it senses motion or detects any movement within the camera, it's going to record a 30-second snippet of it, and it will email it to me, which I think is awesome. It'll send me, my phone gets an alert that there has been motion detected on the camera, and then I will actually receive an email with that 30-second motion snippet so that I can see what's happening. And I think this is totally, totally awesome, right? So again, small business, homeowner, just a myriad of different reasons that you would want to be able to monitor things. And again, since it crashed, the Julian's iPhone just doesn't want to connect. I wonder if the application actually crashed on the phone that's pointing out the front window. But I now have the ability to know what's going on. Let's say I'm going on vacation. I take one of my phones and I point it to my front door, my front yard. I take another one and I point it towards my backyard, towards my back door, and I turn it on. If something happens, let's say somebody's snooping around. Most burglars, they don't just walk up to your house first time, look at the house, go, yeah, I want to rob it, and then they break in. What they do is they'll walk around at night and they'll look for ways to get in. They'll look to see, try and monitor, looking in the windows to figure out what's going on. If that occurs, you will get a 30-second snippet, and it will email it to you wherever you are, and you can access it. This is totally awesome in my opinion. There's a few other really cool options that Presence allows. If I click on the Market button here, these guys are partnered with a bunch of really cool vendors. So they have a Wi-Fi thermostat, so I can control temperature in my home using the Presence app on my phone. They have a Monster power cord controller, again, that interfaces via Wi-Fi, so you can start plugging devices in and have power control over lights, TVs, stereos, whatever you want in your house or home office. Robotic stand for the iPhone. This is really cool. This is actually a little robotic stand for 150 bucks. You can plug your iPhone into it, and then you actually get remote control capability to tilt, pan, and rotate your camera view. So if I have it sitting up on a shelf somewhere that monitors my living room, and let's say I've got that babysitter, watching my kids, and they're out of frame, I can manipulate this motor and point directly at them and see what's going on. They also have the iRobot, which is kind of funny. This is cool. It's called Romo's Robot Companion, and it's actually a little remote control robotic car that you mount your phone on and you can drive around. So this would be really cool. Let's say again, let's go back to the small business analogy. Let's say I have a warehouse where I keep all of my products, And I don't have a lot of phones set up for cameras, but I have a camera where I have a roving robot. I can drive around my warehouse and see what's going on. You know, kind of would be fun to do. I don't see, you know, a big need for that type of a use for it, but it would be a fun toy to have. And then we have a tablet arm. They sell iPhone tripods. They're selling fisheye lenses so you can get a wider screen, so on and so forth. So you can see all these different products that they partner with. And, you know, they'll sell, here's a 10-foot power cable. So the one, you know, the two caveats for your camera, it's got to be on a Wi-Fi network that has internet access to stream the video and audio and to send you emails. And you have to have power to it. So here's 10-foot power cables. And then they also are partnered, and you can buy an iPhone 3GS to use the camera. They sell them, you know, directly. They're not necessarily selling them, right? But they have a link to the Amazon store so that you can buy your cameras directly through. A couple of things that I've noticed with the application since I've downloaded it. For one, the camera, the type of camera that you're using or the type of device that you're using as a camera will depict how good the clarity is, right? So, and again, it's not connecting to Julian's iPhone, but Julian's iPhone is an iPhone 3GS. So it has an older camera in it, right? The image quality is good, but it's pixelated, it's old. However, if I go up to my iPad, this is an iPad mini that's upstairs and actually in a low light situation, and it still has pretty good resolution and pretty good image quality. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you're setting up these old cameras. But, you know, for a free application to manipulate these old devices that you have laying around, Presence is awesome. So I really encourage you to go check it out if you've got some old devices that you want to play around with, or you know, you've got a couple of devices that you just want to see how it works and you're looking for a baby monitor or, you know, a security system. Go check them out, powerpeopleco.com, or search for the Presence app, or even just search for Power People in the App Store. You download the app. You need the app. It's the same app for whether the phone is going to be a camera or whether the phone is going to be a monitor view. You'll launch the app. Here's my phone that was in the window there. You'll launch the app and then you set it up on whether it's going to be a camera or a viewer. And once you've done that, so if I hit exit here, you come in here and it shows you that this is a local camera. So you would set it up, you can click and add new devices and get things up and running. And it's a great little solution. And I'm done. I'll stop rambling now. Thanks again for watching. As always, you know, if you've got some questions about the application or if you just want to have a conversation about it, please leave some comments below. Like, subscribe, comment, follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/geekwithglasses, facebook.com/geekwithglasses. And we appreciate your participation in the show. Every bit helps. Thanks a lot and have a great day. Bye-bye.